I draw him wonky. He's wonky.
Shut up, Grandma!
Hey, we're going to look at issue 1 of Acrobats. I got this in the mail and I couldn't be more excited. But hey, what's on the flip side? What the fuck? Issue 5 of Rob Liefeld's new version of Youngblood. Sorry, I'm adjusting my camera to get optimum angle on this thing. God damn, this little flexible arm of mine is a pain in the ass sometimes. Anyway, you're here for this. You know why you're here for this. You know why I'm here for this. Let me get it out of the way. I'm going to start right up front. Guys, if you love this stuff, if you love him, you love the lighthearted nature of it, great. Enjoy it. That's fine. I have yet to have anybody listen to any, because I try to give us an honest critique. If it's just an action adventure thing that's simple and fun, great, that's fine. But there's like so many storytelling things that are so dumb and so poorly written and so poorly illustrated. Like, I have yet to anybody come to my comments and shit on me because I'm daring to shit on their buddy Rob Liefeld, but tell me how I'm wrong. Look, I'm not an expert on anything. I'm an amateur nobody loser with a loud mouth on YouTube. So who cares what the fuck I think? But I'm going to tell you what I think about this stuff. And it's just beyond ridiculous, the storytelling in this stuff. If you remember where we were at in issue 1 and where we're at in issue 5, like, it's not even close to being the same comic in terms of story. So yeah, there's Shaft. He's running. He's standing on something. Whatever. Fuck, who cares? So, story, pencils, inks, Rob Liefeld, Ron Manuel Rodriguez, color art, Chance Wolfe, who's been doing some awesome inks on some of the pages and all the issues. Shelby Robertson is here to do some additional inks. I wish that it said where, because I can tell sometimes there's certain parts where I'm like, well, that's certainly not a Liefeld line. This is someone else. I'm not sure that I would be able to necessarily differentiate between a Chance Wolfe ink and a Shelby Robertson ink line. I don't know. I wish that they would tell us. They're both incredible artists and very, very talented and badass. And it's nice to see, you know, some other inking on top of Liefeld. It gives it a kind of a whole different kind of sheen and style. But anyway, if you remember, Youngblood #1, the current version. The team went from watching a movie to they flew out to the floating toilet bowl yacht, and they fought a bunch of bad guys and a mysterious guy in golden armor who we never see. And then issue 2, they keep fighting, and there was something mysterious and weird in the bottom of the boat. We still never see the golden bad guy really. I think it was in issue 3 where we finally see him standing there fully revealed. I even forget the guy's name because he's so uninteresting. Supreme showed up, got his ass kicked. And then I think it was issue 4 where he went into space and some other members of Youngblood are talking with some other space characters. And then the Celestials showed up and they came to Earth and they conquered it and took over Earth, and we did like a 20-year jump into the future. We don't get to see the battle. We don't get to see the fallout. We just get told after the Youngblood team was fighting weird, stupid, boring, pointless, stupid, dumb, golden bad guy on a floating toilet bowl. Now the Celestials showed up, conquered the planet. We're 20 years in the future, and now it's some weird post-apocalyptic future we're supposed to be scared of. We kick off here in the Pacific Ocean, 48 miles off the coast of California. I gotta say, these designs of these, they kind of look Die Hard-ish, sort of, but the drawing is kind of fine, and the design is kind of cool. I'm full credits. It looks kind of neat. I want to say that this is not inks by Liefeld. I can't say that for certain, but it doesn't look like his stuff. There's like line weights and stuff. I might guess that this is a Shelby Robertson. I'm a little bit more familiar with Chance Wolfe's inks. But that being said, I kind of like the shot. These robots flying towards us. I like the sun in the distance, the clouds, the water kicking up. They're going underwater. Splash, 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 underwater. And then it says the legendary kingdom of Newport braces for impact. So, oh yeah, Newport. I didn't read any of there's like Brigade and Newman and all those other titles. And there's fucking it's just Namor and Atlantis, but it's called Newport. And you think Liefeld can draw an underwater vast elaborately designed underwater city. No, he just put a couple of cylinders and rectangles, threw them here in the corner, and then that's all you're going to get. The coloring, I love it. I'm into it all across the board. Bubble borders, because we're underwater. I kind of dig the bubble borders. And so random robot guys stand in front of random generic Atlantean soldiers that are poorly drawn, and the Atlantean guys are like, halt! The robots say, your regent, Lord Roman, because remember, Roman is just Namor backwards, is expecting us. Now stand aside or we'd be forced to defend against your transgressions. And so the soldiers turn and look as voice says, stand down. They're like, my lord. He's like, let them pass. So here's Namor standing there. He's got scaly outfit and golden tube socks and a giant shoulder harness and a little goatee. And he's the Lord of Newport, and he's there to barter with these robots. They're like, the Keep require a response to their initiative, Your Highness. The Keep are the Celestials, characters that have been introduced in old Youngblood comics years ago. So now Namor's like, well, yeah, the Keep desire to keep the occupation of Newport and they desire the occupation of Newport and my unconditional surrender. And the robots say you would retain title under their strict direction and authority. And Namor's like, well, of course, I would willingly sacrifice all that we cherish and hold dear in order to appease the ambitions of an alien invader. So you kind of know where this is going. I do have to say, what in the hell is the point of having these two panels here? It's the same shot. Just one in the laziest silhouette I've ever seen. Just fucking eliminate that panel and have the one. Draw the characters taller, draw them interesting, and draw them more detailed, because there's only two fucking word balloons. You don't need two panels. This is laziness on the likes of which a scale I can't believe. What is the point of the silhouette shot? It doesn't help the storytelling. It's completely unnecessary. And Liefeld likes to remind everybody he's a master of page layout and storytelling. He is not. But, hey, at least he kind of tried to draw a hand with some, effort. But yeah, he's like, yeah, sure, I'll surrender everything. Sure, no problem. So he bitch slaps their heads and I guess knocks their little heads off, and he's picking them up. He says, take this message back to your superiors. How? They're robots. And he just ripped them apart. Maybe they could download and whatever. He's like, inform the Keep that we have no intention of complying with their illegitimate rule. Their time is finished. Guardsmen, summon my generals. Gather the council. We must gird ourselves and ready our defenses. We are at war. The fucking Keep have been they've conquered the planet for the last 2 decades, as per last issue. 2 decades later, your fucking dumbass is now going to fight? Is anybody paying attention to the story that was written previously? This is so dumb. Cut to Die Hard. Remember last time we saw Die Hard? He was fighting like the golden guy on the floating toilet bowl, and then we jumped 20 years into the future, and I guess he's been kidnapped. He's sitting in a big concrete chair with a bunch of water hoses sitting down, plugged into his brain. He's still super jacked in his upper body, but goddamn is his lower body lost all its muscle mass. We're going to get some really interesting text, I'm sure. Die Hard, a technological marvel, a product of superintelligence and advanced cyber science, bolstered by systems and codes deciphered from the wreckage of an ancient alien starship. That is a hell of an origin. Once the finest product of American innovation, regulated now as a generator, he powers a fleet of drones replicated from his motherboard. That sucks. The Keep assimilate the technology of the worlds and the worlds they conquer, utilizing it for their personal means, often in service of oppression. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks all the way around. Yeah, there's Die Hard sitting in a chair, but he's trapped. He's not even bolted down. I guess if you got like control of his brain, you don't need to bolt him down. As fucking Die Hard, you think it'd be a good idea to like fucking take his arms and legs off, just separate all his parts of his body, just have his brain. If he's such a integral part of your evil plans, you should secure this fucker. Anyway, we get a big side shot of his face, and the text continues. The advancements in Die Hard made an integration of their control simpler than anticipated. The Keep targeted him. Obtaining his technology was their highest priority. Sure. Asserting immediate control over all existing stock made manufacturing thousands more units a simple function of automation. So there's a bunch of giant super diehard robots, big giant versions. They say diehard is the router transmitting the signal that coordinates 1,000 drones. The drones patrol the planet in service of the keep. This is where Liefeld's going to cheap out, because there's like some building, like it's just a silhouette, something like these Russian buildings, sort of an Eiffel Tower. Look at that Eiffel Tower. And he was so fucking crazy, he just dropped in a silhouette of one of the diehard drones, and that is his version of the Eiffel Tower. And there's my finger up close to it, so you can see just how small that panel is. And look, he drew a couple of triangles. He's like, look, I drew the pyramids of Egypt. What the fuck? What do you want? Yeah, what do I want? And then we just cut to the Shatterstar and Domino, essentially, right? They're looking through this mesh gate, I guess, looking at Die Hard strapped into a chair. Whoever the fuck this guy is, he says, we have eyes on Die Hard finally. And she says, now we find out if Doyle's hack is a success. So I guess they kick open the grating and look at why the fuck could he not draw in whoever this character is? I think it's supposed to be a Task. Why is this reverse so fucking lazy? She's stepping out. She says, we are through the grid. The jammers have succeeded. Tell Leonard he's every bit the genius he claims to be. So then I see this like background, this dark background with the lines. I'm like, holy shit, they've stepped into Tron. They're on the light cycle game grid. That's awesome. Get into the light cycles and take off. That would be fucking badass. But anyway, yeah, there's Die Hard. He's connected to all the water hoses. They're like, hey, I can't believe we finally located him. Think he can hear us? They're like, I don't know. We're about to find out. Remember, I said Domino, but this is Vogue, but you might as well be Domino. But Vogue, remember Vogue? You and Die Hard used to fuck. Like, aren't you excited to see your boyfriend? I think there was an alternate issue of Youngblood where Die Hard was the president of the United States, and she, we'll get to it. So they unplug all the water hoses from. He's like, that does it. That's the last of the coils. Can you hear us, Die Hard? He just calls him DH. He's like, free at last. That's it. Just somebody walks into a room, kicks open the grating, unplugs the water hoses, and Die Hard's awake. He's like, free at last. Seriously? He stands up. Presumably he was stuck in that chair forever, but he's still super jacked. He's part robot, whatever the fuck. I'll admit, for Liefeld, that's a reasonably awesome picture of Die Hard. I mean, he's standing there and he's flexing, and it's kind of cool. Like, and the coloring looks great. It's as good as it can get, and it's not bad. It's okay. He's awake. He's like, I don't know how you did it. I'm forever in your debt. We've got to move. The Keep are preparing an extinction level event. And so they're like, well, we can't go back the way we entered. Why not? When was that a step? Why the fuck can you not go back in the hole in the wall you just came in? Who cares? Die Hard says, we're going to go out the front door. Okay. We've been trying to locate you for years. The Keep had you well hidden. And he's like, I have to imagine no matter what path we choose, leaving here won't be easy. So I guess they come down a tunnel and to a corner, and there's just a couple of guys standing in a little dead end, just a couple of robots standing here staring at each other. Die Hard's like, I'll clear these guys. I've got years of pent-up aggression. I'm looking to bang some heads. And Vogue's over here is like, hey, you could bang me first before we die. Why not? He's like, greeting, oppressors. I believe I qualify for express checkout. Oh, Jesus, God. The writing. That face of Die Hard's kind of fine. The face of Vogue there, it's kind of fine. I have to say, I've kind of been noticing up to this point, here and there, a couple of panels, couple of places, including some stuff coming up in some other pages. There's a few moments where I'm like, I feel like Liefeld was trying just a little bit harder than normal. Just a bit, and it kind of shows. You can really tell when he cheaps out and gets lazy, but there's some stuff that's kind of okay. He actually drew some fucking backgrounds. It might be just straight and your most basic one-point perspective, but good Lord, he actually drew something. The dialogue's terrible, but Die Hard is going to take on robot things. That's fine. We got to start punching. So, top silhouette panels, he dives into them and just starts beating the shit out of them. Punch, I don't know why he likes to give us these shots where we stare straight up the fucking asshole taint of the character, but there we are. Punches the shit out of them. I guess they're down. He says, that felt good. And then he looks, and there's more just cybernetic, robotic bad guys. Okay, there's at least 5 of them. The bad guys say, surrender or you'll be eradicated. And Vogue says, next batter up, Task. So Task, suddenly his costume got some details on it. It feels like his costume didn't have all these details on it before. Do you want to know why? Because he didn't fucking draw him anywhere. He's got like a little shoulder, reverse silhouette, no details, no details. He's just wearing a t-shirt there. You just see his face, and then suddenly he's got an outfit with some details. That's fine. He pulls out some butter knives to throw at people, I guess, and bad guys shoot lasers. Task does a jump backflip thing, I guess, sort of. I kind of don't mind this panel with the laser blast shots and then the jumping angle. Liefeld's some of his best stuff that he used to be really, really good at was lots of movement and motion with characters all over the page. In his early New Mutants, the later issues of New Mutants and early X-Force stuff, he had a lot of motion and movement that really kind of worked despite his weird artistic kind of deficiencies. And I kind of see it here. That's kind of cool. He throws his butter knives turned into archangels like feathers that he shoots from his wings. So he flings them and hits 2 of these guys and blows them up. I mean, there were 5 of them, but now there's only 2 of them. That's cool. Blows them up. Not bad. Die Hard tackles someone else. I'm going to say this is a Chance Wolf ink page because these ink lines up here, there's no way Liefeld can do that. He doesn't get into thick lines like that. So I'm going to guess Chance Wolf inked this. But Die Hard's giving a good old football tackle to generic robot thing. I think it's funny that Liefeld put this just giant cylindrical shape and he's like, robot arm. That's the best you could do on a double page spread? Thanks. Die Hard is like, playtime's over. Time to finish this. My strength is returning with every passing second. Good to get the gears back up and running. Punches a guy, stands there and talks to us, and then he jumps up on top of their bodies and starts doing a dance. Look at him. He's just breakdancing there. Look at that shit. He says, I'm more a machine than man. Yeah, thanks, Darth Vader. That's what the Keep exploited. As I gain strength, the drones fall. Without the hard line, I can scramble our connection. That's great. Just stand up there and start dancing. That's cool. Die Hard's so great, isn't he? He's just the greatest character. Well, he keeps ripping robots apart. And then, smashes them. He says, I've rendered these models useless. We'll continue the slaughter no matter how many they send. And then a voice says, we don't have time for all of that, Chief. And more Die Hard robots crash. And then he turns and looks and he says, it's time to move. And Die Hard says, who? So now we cut back to, there's Shaft and there's Badrock. Remember they went to the, what's that fucking jungle in the X-Men comics? I knew it immediately. I have this problem. I'm trying to remember a thing and it just skips my brain. That, oh my God, it's driving me nuts. What is it called? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. In the X-Men comics, in the Antarctic, there's a fucking hidden jungle with dinosaurs. Well, they got one here too. The Savage Land. Fucking Christ. But this place is Arcadia. Okay, sure. At a glance, this picture of Shaft I kind of like, and Liefeld actually did some detail in these trees, assuming this is Liefeld's inks and not someone else, and the inker detailed it. I'm like, was Liefeld looking at Skinbreaker and looking at the incredibly amazing detailed art that David Finch is doing over there and like, hey, maybe I could replicate that for a page. And he did the best he could do. It's not bad. It kind of is interesting. It's kind of good. The coloring, again, is selling the shit out of it. What in the hell is up with Badrock? He looks like an old man. What is this thing around his neck and these glasses and this? He looks like old man Badrock. He's like, I don't know, kid. I'm here to watch with my binoculars. I know he's not, but he looks terrible. Fucking Badrock saying, I thought this expedition would help take my mind off the Die Hard extraction detail. No such luck. So again, they're in the jungle. And again, the art's kind of, there's actually a fucking rhinoceros, and Liefeld referenced something. He cannot draw animals out of his mind in the slightest. And you know what? A lot of artists cannot. Animals are hard, especially getting the specific anatomy of, like, say you need to draw a horse or a giraffe or a rhinoceros or whatever the hell. So you go and get a picture, and for fuck's sake, it looks like he actually did. Hell has frozen over. It's fucking rock solid. Again, maybe he was looking at some Skin Breaker, and I've got characters in a jungle fighting big animals. I'm going to do my best version of Skin Breaker. Sure. Shaft is saying, yeah, both parties left at roughly the same time. I figured we would have seen them back by now. I wish our forces weren't spread so thin. Badrock says they might have run into some resistance like we did retrieving the hammer. And we both know how we both know they can handle their business if it comes to blows. Still no sign of this Tasmanian rhino. Never heard of such a species. And Shaft says, my arrows are set to stun. My arrows from his bow and arrow are set to stun. Remember, we can only subdue the beast, no harming it. And then there's a rhino. Badrock says he's a big fella, and I guess he plows straight into Badrock. Shaft jumps right over it. Shaft says, you got this, Badrock. It doesn't look like it. It says, Yowza, Kanan wasn't kidding around when he said this one would be challenging. Whoa, Buster here's extra thick. And so Badrock's like, forgive me, buddy, I only see one way out of this. So it'd be awesome if he just ripped the rhino's head off his fucking body. But I guess he tackles him to the ground. I had to stare at this for a minute to understand what the hell I'm looking at. I was like, what the hell is this? I'm like, oh, that's the rhino's asshole with his little tail. Remember the Ace Ventura, that second movie, when Jim Carrey popped out of the back of that robotic rhinoceros thing? That shit was funny. Anyway, they took it down. For some reason, they're hunting a rhino. When the world is taken over, they have time to go hunt endangered species in the jungle. This is so stupid. Badrock kicks him to the ground and says, now that's with an extra helping of the Yabba Dabba Doom. Shut up. He's like, he's going to feel that one for a long while. And Shaft says, yeah, that could have gotten really ugly really fast, but you still got it, big fella. And the voice says, Die Hard? And so Die Hard, he's just back. He's here. He's like, I'm back with no time to spare. And I wouldn't have made it out but for the help of a few friends. And holy shit, it's the Rejects characters. I've been pissing up a storm saying that they should get the Rejects characters back in comics forever. I reviewed the original book a long time ago, and then I found recently a couple of like other comics that had some short stories in them that, it's still kind of cliche and it's all a bunch of rip-off of other stuff, but I thought the Rejects characters had some interesting ideas, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to draw a Rejects comic. For fuck's sake, there they are. There's Scarab and there's Jeannie. Jeannie is wearing way too many clothes. She was in the tiniest little hyper microscopic bikini thing, and why they have the skulls of like dead birds on their shoulders, I don't know. Poor Scarab looks like he's had all the fingers severed off his poor fist, but it's the Rejects characters. Never thought I'd see them show up. Liefeld is literally bringing every character he's ever created back into these books, which is great, sure, but you can't possibly have them all do anything. It's just random scenes cobbled together with no through line. Hey, remember the first 2-3 issues where there was a crazy golden guy, super bad guy with ultimate plans? Where the fuck is he? We're 20 years in the future. The Celestials have taken over. Where's Golden Asshole? Just gone. We're gone. It's just out of there. It's over. Who cares? So why do we care? That's what I say. The story, the through line in this is just literally making shit up. Speaking of making shit up, flipping it over, we got the Rejects characters. And holy shit, we have Combat. His head is kind of tucked over here. We have Cougar with his little kitty belt and his little nipple eyelid things on his body there. He's saying, we're here, Shaft, ready to follow you into final battle. That's Doc Rocket, if I remember the name correctly. Who the fuck is this? it took me a second of looking at this. I was trying to piece something together. You got Cannibal Jungle Adventure Chapel in the background there. You've got Biggest Brother from the Alan Moore written Youngblood issues. So there he is. You have Photon with this flaming hair, and he's got a little flaming girl sticking out of his head. Isn't that cute? I know that's not what that is, but fuck it. To me, that's what it is. It's like a little torch, and he can kind of create the flames of his ex-wife or some shit, because that compositional lineup is fucking stupid. And now we have fucking Professor Prophet. He's now a gender studies professor of Native American culture. What the hell is he wearing? What the fuck is going on? So I see Prophet. Where was the last time I saw Prophet? There was that Last Blood comic. And there was some random douchebag twat in a t-shirt running around in the snow with a bow and arrow that ran into some compound and rescued Battlestone and KO and some other fucking guy Atlas from Brigade, I think. And it ended with them like, holy shit, here's Prophet. Sorry, bumped my camera. I'm like, is this a follow-up to Last Blood? Now, I've only got to read issue 1. There is an issue 2. I haven't got to see what happens in that story. But in that Last Blood comic, they were talking about how in the future, horrible things had happened to the world, and it was up to them to go fix it. And suddenly here they are. So is this the guy who is in Last Blood and his Native American adventure Prophet? Is he coming from that book? What the fuck is he wearing? This is so stupid, but we got to get them all back together. And everyone thinks Prophet's just the most amazing character in the history of comics ever. And I do not get it. And by the way, that's the end of the book. So what the fuck happened? We visited Namor underwater. He's going to join the fight. We go and rescue Die Hard, and we punch a bunch of robots. We join Shaft and Badrock as they hunt a rhino for some fucking reason, and then Reject shows up, and then everyone else shows up. Class is in session. Professor Prophet's going to teach us all. Next issue, this is the big deal. It's issue 100. I know some people kind of like, there's not 100 issues of Youngblood. So here's my understanding. My understanding is if you take every issue of Youngblood that's ever been created, every volume, it's been restarted several times. I'm assuming they're talking Team Youngblood as well. And every other iteration, because Liefeld said that they kind of got together and did the math. And this next one, issue 6 of this series, would be issue 100, like 100 issues. 100 issues of Youngblood. And so this is what they're going to do. So sure, I guess there's 100 issues. I don't doubt, whatever. I don't care. It's a lot. This cover, I'm like, it looks like Badrock's arms are just missing. It took me a second to be able to see his other arm was up here. They're tearing through a giant piece of toilet paper. So you got Shaft, Photon, Chapel, Cougar, Vogue, Badrock, Die Hard, I assume Silence, maybe, I don't know. This shot of issue 100 with Die Hard kind of running forward or flying forward, the issue 100, like, it's kind of cool. And then we get, this is like the cover, it's upside down, I know, too. The Youngblood one shot that I've already shown on my channel and the fucking stupid acrobat. So, yeah, it is what it is. Issue 5. Again, it's just random scenes cobbled together as an excuse to punch things and have every character show up. I am 100% legitimately curious to see what issue 100 will be like. Is it going to be a double-sized issue? Maybe. Who knows? Every character is going to show up. Is it going to be is that it? Is that going to be the end? Who knows? It's something to observe. It's something to witness. It's pretty crazy how, look, again, artistically, whatever. You think about what you want. He has moments where he does okay. Like I've said, there's moments where I'm like, that's kind of not bad. But there's other moments where like, this is the worst thing he's ever done. This is so atrocious. But that aside, story-wise, I dare you to kind of like tell me how the narrative through this thing makes any sense and any cohesive logic at all. Like, it doesn't. And if you don't care, that's fine. But it's not hard to kind of take all of this and string it together in kind of a narrative that's not just a bunch of scenes crammed together to make cool pages. Whatever. Everyone's buying it. I get it for the channel. I would want to see it anyway. You know, I would be curious no matter what. But here we are, issue 5 of Liefeld's Youngblood. It's something. But again, there's some art in this. I'm like, that's not terrible. It's kind of almost okay. So good job. He gets excited. He gets kind of pumped up and, shits out something that kind of works. Anyway, Youngblood number 5. That's all I got for this one. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. See you next time.